Hello Star Wars YouTube fans, thank you for visiting my channel today, Johnny Star Wars. Before we kick off with this review, just wanted to say if you are new here today, please hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell to stay up to date for future Star Wars content. Pleased to bring you today the Vintage Collection Star Wars Han Solo Stormtrooper Disguise Premium Super Articulated 3 3/4 inch figure. So this is VC143 from the Vintage Collection. And the figure itself is the first time that we've had Han Solo Stormtrooper Disguise on a sort of a classic vintage style card back. We did get a Han Solo Stormtrooper Disguise a few years back as part of the Legacy Collection, but the sort of the first time appeared on the Star Wars card of this nature. I did order 2 of these figures when first announced. At the time we just had preview images of the figure itself, so I was quite excited to see the announcement of this and obviously getting this type of car back, but as soon as I saw the preview image of the card back, I must say I was very disappointed with the choice of image that they've gone for. As you can see, it's Han Solo as seen in the trash compactor. It does look to be a very sort of grainy image, and it does have a very red tint to the image as well. So consequently, Han Solo appears with red hair rather than black. I much would have rather have preferred to have seen an iconic sort of hero image of Han Solo as seen in the control room, or possibly even in a detention centre. So I'm not quite sure why they chose this image. The one thing I did think of thinking about it is that perhaps down the road Hasbro might be releasing a trash compactor diorama, and hence maybe why they've gone for this type of image on this card back. So I guess time will tell on that one, but as I say, for me, I did order 2 of these, one to keep on card and one to open. I don't normally keep very many figures carded, but as I say, the main heroes, I do quite like to keep those carded. So I think on reflection of this as it is in hand, I'll probably just go with opening it up, keeping the figure, and then selling the second one on subsequently on the secondary market. So a bit of a disappointment there with this particular card back. A couple of other things I don't like about these card backs, little bugbears of me that if you've seen my videos before you may have heard me mention. So this is sort of the European release of this figure. So bearing in mind that this is meant to be a premium figure aimed at the older collectors. Number 1, in the bottom of the bubble, we get this awful folded leaflet. Nothing really of interest other than just a load of legal mumble jumbo. And then also the top of this card as well, don't know if you can see it in the image, the logo itself has been obliterated by sort of a black sticker over the top of that. Again, I'm not quite sure what's under that and the reason why they needed to cover that up, but you know, again, Hasbro, if you are listening, premium figure, older collectors, you know, quite a poor execution on that really. And then the back of the card, I like the top of the card in terms of the racetrack, and then we've got a few preview images of as yet unreleased figures, and then but the lower half of the card, again, we've got this awful you know, just a load of nonsense really, just obviously warnings in various languages. If legally you have to do this, please consider maybe putting the carded figure in a separate box that you can discard, and then just keep the figure carded, and maybe a simplified card back. You know, it's just a god-awful mess really. So this particular figure comes with a new photoreal face paint application. Just a quick look at it on the card, obviously. Very nice to see that new sculpt for the Stormtrooper helmet, really nicely done there. And then the figure itself, just first thoughts looking at this, you can see a little bit more detail gone into this in terms of sort of you know, some of the little black buttons on the chest plate, and nice little detail regarding the gun. It's got sort of a silver paint application as well. So again, some detail quite nice on that. But in terms of a carded figure, you know, there's quite a lot going wrong with this particular one, unfortunately for me. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, comments about this particular carded figure. If you could maybe let me know in the comments below, I'd be interested to know that. So if you hang around, we'll get this figure off the card and take a closer look at it for you. Back, as you can see, I've now removed the Han Solo Stormtrooper disguise figure from the card back. I do this very carefully by using a sharp knife, just cut across the half across the top of the bubble, down that left hand side, and slightly underneath as well, just so you can get that figure out without making too much of a mess of the card back. And then, you know, if I want to stick this in a star case later on, not a problem, we can do that, and it should still display quite nicely. So again, Hasbro, if you are listening, this is the leaflet that's inside this card back. I think last time I counted it was about 20 odd languages, just saying that it's a choking hazard. And then obviously on the back we just got different addresses for different countries. Again, makes a mess of the card back. If you can, maybe put this in an outer style box that we can discard that at our leisure, and obviously just keep a nice looking card back without all the legal mumbo jumbo on it. So just give you a close look at this figure in terms of articulation and the blaster that comes with this particular figure. So the blaster itself, this has got quite a nice sculpt to it, got some very nice detail to this, so it's got quite a nice crisp sculpt. I also quite like the fact that they've got some silver paint application detail to this as well. I think that's the first time I've seen paint application on this type of blaster before, so that looks quite nice. The helmet, as we said, very nice sculpt on that, reminiscent of the Rogue One Stormtrooper sculpt helmet that we got. I'll just pop it on the figure to see how it looks on the figure, see if it looks in proportion. So again, that looks pretty spot on to me. Doesn't look oversized or out of place, so very nice job done with that. And then say the helmet itself's got some very nice detail in terms of the sort of the paint decals and application there as well. That's really nicely done. So articulation, we got a ball joint on the head, a nice range of movement there. We got a ball joint at the shoulder with a hinge, so good range of movement there. The elbow is a ball joint or swivel with a hinge, and then the wrist is just a swivel joint. I would have liked to have seen perhaps a hinge joint on that hand as well. We have got that on some of the newer vintage collection figures, so it just makes me wonder whether they've sort of modified the legacy collection Stormtrooper to pull this one out. So he does have a rocker at the waist, so you got nice movement there, and also a swivel. The belt itself is all one piece. Legacy collection, this detonator at the back used to pop out and be quite annoying because it'd always be falling out, so it's quite nice to see that actually sculpted solid on there. And then we got a nice sort of blaster holster there as well for this particular figure, so that looks all good. And then the main difference between this and the legacy collection version is we got at the midsection now at the top of the leg ball joint and hinge, so you're getting a greater range of movement from this figure at that point. The legs, as I say, ball joint and hinge at the knees, and then at the feet, so we do have here a ball joint and a hinge, so that gives you a good range of movement there on that one. So all in all, not a bad figure. I think the main thing for me is I was just a little bit disappointed with that card back. I don't know, given the choice, if there's enough going on with this figure for me to sort of warrant buying it. As I say, as I didn't like that card back image, so I maybe could have lived with just the Legacy Collection one I've got already. I could have probably just done a custom helmet myself to fit on that, using the sort of the Rogue One Stormtrooper helmet. So yeah, just sort of mixed feelings towards this particular figure. If I had to give it marks out of 10, I'd probably give it overall maybe a 7.5 out of 10. Be interested to know if you've got this figure as yet, or what your thoughts and comments are on this one. Is this one you're going to be picking up? Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching my video today. If you'd really like to help support the channel, please give me a big thumbs up and leave a comment. This really does help grow the channel. Also in the description you'll see a link to my Redbubble page. Please consider visiting this for some cool merchandise. Anything you do buy will really go to help bring you exciting future content. Many thanks for watching.